It's time for Chai and Chat. Chai and Chat.
Oh, hi, Ranjit. So nice to see you. I've missed you. So it's lovely to see you. Lovely to catch up with our Chai and Chat.
Good to see you again. Obviously, we're sharing bits about ourselves through these and with each other as well, because I think there's always something new when we talk.
Yeah.
You suggested looking at sort of teenage years, and you had a really good name for it. What was that name?
I think it was called Angst and Acne, I think. That probably summed up my teenage years for quite a few years.
You know, I don't remember having acne though. I remember having the
lucky
angst.
you.
I know. I probably did, but I don't
Mm.
remember having like loads of it. I mean, I know we said we're going to look at health issues as well, but we're not going to look at acne in this one. Don't worry, everyone. That
I
leads
was
me
going to start with
into
a poem, wasn't I? We've done poems at the end, but we thought it might
yeah,
be a bit fun. We did a
yeah,
poem last time in the beginning, so
yeah.
we'll do another one.
Brilliant. So what have you
So,
found for us this week?
well, it's called, surprisingly, Teenage Years, to go with our theme.
Mm,
And this is actually by a lady called Elizabeth Smith. She is or was a late 19th century American poet and a women's rights advocate. So it's like
okay.
it's a little bit of a fun poem. Okay?
Okay.
So here it goes. Teenage years. In a long ago day, no term such as teenager was inferred. Upon reaching pubescence, adulthood was conferred. No separate entity were teenage years thought to be, any more than 20 or 30, even 93. The business of giving separate age a place on life's map has turned out to be nothing but a load of old crap. I'm a teenager, they will wail and whine, implying your life is less valuable than mine. I'm your replacement, is what they're trying to say. But they should, at their feet, what's crawling on the floor, their own replacements will be ready a couple of years or more. I thought it was gave me a little chuckle, that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's lovely.
Because I do think, teenagers, because that id is enormous, isn't it? Everything is about you. And it's been given this specific, like childhood, teenage, and then it's 20s, 30s, it means nothing. They're just the numbers then. Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of separation that she talks about is quite
Yes.
interesting, because when you look back, it's like, whilst you have changed, people often say, don't they, whatever age they're at, especially older age, that they don't feel any different. And it's right. I mean, I look in the mirror and I think, oh God, who's that?
Interestingly, isn't it interesting that me laughing at and saying it, but it's a truism, because we remember teenage years. I
Yeah.
think it's there's so much growing up that's done. It's tumultuous, that time,
Yeah.
whereas 30s, 40s, there's more groundedness. Whereas here, there's a lot of change, I suppose. A multitude of change happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the big things, I suppose, is that we're thinking about is how we saw ourselves. Sort of our image. How we saw ourselves, that seeking validation from other teenagers, our friends. Do you have anything to share there, Ranjit?
Well, yeah, I mean, it made me think about sort of image and how, it's interesting at the time you're so focused on your image. I mean, young people are, aren't they? So teenagers think about
Yeah.
everything. I wear glasses, and I remember when I had contact lenses, this is late teens, I
Right.
wouldn't walk out the house with my glasses on. I was so concerned about how I looked, and overly concerned, and
Yeah,
that I
that old
wore.
is it four eyes or
Yeah,
owl
4
or
eyes.
something like that? Owly.
Yeah. So I'd be like, I'd be conscious about what I wore, how I looked. And then
Mm.
what I love about now is that I don't really care. So it's, and people don't look at you. When you're younger, I think people do look at each other. Young people do. They're finding themselves, they're looking at those little, styles would change month by month. When
Yes, you're right.
when you're older, it's like actually you have your old classics and that's it. You're not too fussed. But yeah, image wise, I'll share with you. So I went through that phase that a lot of young people, probably perhaps in the UK, I'm not sure about abroad, but go through, where I started wearing black a lot, and I
All
grew my
right. Yes,
hair.
I
And
do remember phases where I
oh,
saw people in
okay.
black. Yes, yes.
And
Not in Malaysia, we didn't, because black, in a tropical country, I
Yes, you're
think
not going to do it. Yeah, that's what I was
no.
wondering whether it happens elsewhere. So,
Mm.
I started wearing black. I started listening to music like The Smiths and The Cure, which is quite depressing when you think about it, but I found it quite fun. And so,
No,
um,
yes, I remember the Smiths. I don't remember listening much to The Cure, but the Smiths,
yeah,
they were a band of their time in that sense, and
that's
still
it.
very cool about,
Yeah.
lots of the Gen Zs, and they love it, don't they? Yeah,
So go through that phase, and then all of a sudden, very almost overnight, when I went to university,
yeah,
I met new people, and I think it's the people around you that influence you, don't they? So I think I was in a crowd
yes.
of people who, were listening to that music, dressing like that. And then all of a sudden I was like, right, I grew my hair long before that, I had it in a ponytail. It's like, right, cut my hair
Oh,
off, and that
Ranjit,
was
I
it.
can't imagine you in a ponytail. Gosh,
Well,
that's a revelation and a half.
I wish I had that hair now. So that's you look back on these things and you think at the time I was so self-conscious.
Basically, you were quite
Mm.
beautiful without acne, with
Well,
a ponytail and glasses. I mean, I'm sure you looked,
well,
you cut a fine figure.
the hair was hard work. I remember using hot oil and different things, and the other thing was in those days people used to smoke in bars. So if I came home at night and I'd lie there and my hair
Yeah.
would smell of smoke, it was awful. So all those things I forget about, but remember in our conversations, it's quite interesting, looking back. So
Yes, I
tell,
mean, to
tell
me, right. Yes,
yeah,
I
tell
mean,
me about your image. Yeah.
my teenagehood, I'm afraid I did have acne, I had angst, and I was quite a tubby girl. So,
Really?
yeah, I was quite tubby, but I pretended I wasn't tubby. So on the inside, I was fabulous. Yeah, so I did like fashion, but
Mm.
I was, yeah, so I was a little bit sad. There was a lot of listening to sad songs. I
Yeah.
listened to a lot of the Carpenters and
Oh
things like
yes.
that. Yeah, so I think, seeking validation, wanting, to be adored by your friends, and
Mm.
like boys, that was a thing, that wanting somebody to think you were a good looking person, because I had some
Yeah.
very good looking friends. So I used to hang out with them, because I think that I had some self confidence, so I was
Mm.
confident about the way I spoke. I knew quite a lot about things, and I was confident in that sort of sense. But yes, but I was tubby. But I kind of fashioned it out, I guess. Yes.
It's interesting. I mean, because when we're that age, do you think we do
Mm.
things for ourselves? Do you think we do things for other people? Are we we're trying to
Mm.
find ourselves, aren't we? We're trying to be things. And mm,
Absolutely. And, a lot of the things were, sort of looking at teenage magazines. It's quite
mm,
interesting because I lived in Malaysia. So we used to order teenage magazines from England. I can't remember the names now. So they were always a month
mm,
late. And all the girls there had fabulous long hair or cool jeans. And I looked nothing like that. And, I wanted to look like that, but I was me in the end.
mm,
I did try dieting,
mm.
and in Malaysia, people are not as kind to you if you're tubby. They would
They're
say,
not
"How
kind
come you're so
anywhere.
fat?" Yes, how come you're so fat? And,
Or they
it's
just say it
so they,
outright.
yes, they do say it outright.
Yeah,
I think it's a East Asian, South Asian sort of.
right.
Going to tell you the truth. I'm going to
Okay.
speak their truth. So I did find it a little bit hard. I mean, I lost all that when
Mm.
as I grew older. But yeah, so that image thing was very important, and you were saying to yourself, oh, you don't, you wear what you. I still love to dress up. I still have
Yeah.
that in me. I still
I
enjoy
think
that very much.
I
So.
think there's something about those teenage years though, and I see it in young
Mm,
people now. So my niece and nephews are like late teens,
yeah.
a few early 20s,
Mm.
and I see how they're changing all the time. They're these days it's different. They don't have magazines, it's all social media. So you know,
Absolutely. Goodness
yeah,
knows if we had had social media, I would have
I
had
know.
everything. And I'd have been putting the filter on
Oh
everything.
yes. What do you mean I've got the filter on now? So,
Quite right,
that's
Ranjit. But you've
that's
got perfect skin. You don't need to put the filter on.
that's the filter. That's the filter, Sundari. Every time we go out, we're always in low lighting, remember?
Oh yes, of course. We
So
only come out in the
this
evenings,
is
a
it.
little bit like Dracula.
This is it. So I think the image thing is quite interesting about how we portray our image to other people, to
Yeah.
ourselves, finding ourselves and understanding ourselves, I think is quite interesting. And I mean, your experience where you were, I mean, I'm going to come back to something that's a very British experience of people of my
Yeah.
age, like
Mm-hmm.
70s, 80s, being Asian, being brown in a majority white community. That was always interesting as well because I was there, especially when I was wearing my black clothes and going to concerts where everyone was white. And it was
All
just very
right.
weird. It's very
Yes.
weird. And they were like looking at me like, okay, you like this sort of music. So for me, it was music and the clothing and those environments that a lot of my cousins and my brother and my sisters, they
Mm.
preferred, well, my brothers and sisters didn't actually, they were a bit like me, but my cousins all preferred Asian music. So they were going to like the
Oh, did
Asian.
they?
Yeah, there was
Okay.
like an Asian scene, like British Asian scene, which I didn't
Ah,
really like. I
that
don't
you
know.
weren't into. Yes, you
No, it
hadn't.
wasn't
Yeah.
sort of my
No.
thing. It wasn't, I
No,
didn't like the whole
I,
Bollywood type of music.
I
Um,
think with us, when we were growing up, it was very much American music,
yeah.
British music, and we had what we call Tamil films, and not quite
Mm.
Bollywood, but Tamil films.
Mm.
I didn't listen to any of that. Some of my cousins did a little bit, but not in the way that people listen to it now.
What was it for you, do you think? What was the difference? Did you just like the Western music or
I
was it?
just grew up with it. It's what
Yeah,
my mum and dad listened to Frank
yeah,
Sinatra and and Nat King Cole. We liked that music, and
right.
then it's what we heard on the radio really,
Yeah,
and
I
that was
quite
what was playing on sort of commercial radio or just regular
mm,
radio at home, and I just liked it. And
mm,
my parents spoke English at home. We were very westernized in our house.
mm.
My parents spoke to us in English, you see. So
So,
yes.
so with us, I mean, my parents listened to sort of modern classical, I'd say, music. So Asian classical music, so the film music, but none
Ah,
of none of the modern 70s, 80s Bollywood music, which I used to find really, and I sound
right.
awful now. People can listen and go, oh no, that's just be unkind. But whereas I
Are you
found
being
sort
a
of
bit of a snob there,
a bit of a snob,
Ranjit?
I know, yes. Listen, I
Well, I
can
don't
I
even know
hear it
any
as
of that music, so it
I
doesn't
I
matter.
hear it as I'm saying it. It wasn't being snobby. It was just I think it was because of the people around me and the influence around me. I was predominantly white people, so I'd be listening to that music, and so there was nobody. I wasn't really taught or educated in that music. So
I
only
suppose folk,
now do I
yeah.
listen to. I appreciate. I listen to more Asian music now than I did
Do
back then.
you? It's a lot what my brother listened to. They were all into
Yeah.
rock and hard, hard rock and things like that. Led Zepp. I listened to all that. I can do a good headbang. I can do all that.
Okay.
So a lot of it influenced by my cousins, my brothers, who thought they were the forefront of music. So we listened to all that with them. So yeah, and my parents loved the 1950s, Jim Reeves, as I said, and Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
So that's what I grew up with. I still don't listen to South Asian music. I
Yeah.
I think I got more involved, listened to a little more of the Indian classical music, the
Hmm.
Mridangal and things like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's beautiful,
Which
but
I
I don't
love.
have an
Yeah.
understand it. Yes.
Yeah, music was one thing. Going to parties, that's another thing. I
Oh
know
my
you
goodness,
seem like
going to
you're a
parties.
party girl anyway. So what were you like back then?
Oh, I did go to parties, but the biggest obstacle in going to parties is getting permission from
Oh,
daddy.
okay.
Obviously, I'll tell you a great story. It was probably around 17, and there was this guy I was friends with. He was very cool. He had the long hair too. He was
Okay.
mixed race. He was beautiful boy, but we were friends. But he said, "Come to a party, sort of New Year's Eve party." And I
Hmm.
said, great. So he was basically this was happening. He'd rung the house, the old telephone, bring, bring, answer the phone. And he says, come to the party. And I said, he says, I need to know now. So I rushed, and Daddy was having a bath. He was in the shower room. So I knock on the door and I go, Daddy, Christopher's asked me to a party. He went, right, okay. When is this party? New Year's Eve. And then he went, what does Christopher's father do? He wanted to know his occupation. So I ran off to go, Christopher, what does your father do? So he explained to me what his father did. So it sounded okay. So I said, Christopher's father is this, Daddy. And then he goes, right, so where's this house? It's in Christopher's house. I said, I don't know, need to check. So I go up and he goes, actually, it's in my uncle's house. So I go back and tell Daddy this. And he goes, what does his uncle do? So I rushed back and say, Christopher, what does your uncle do? And he goes, my uncle's a cook. And I go, I
Oh,
can't tell my dad he's a cook. So I go back and go, Daddy, Christopher's uncle is the chef at the Hilton. And he went, oh, okay. Who's going to be picking you up? Then I just made it up. I went, his uncle. And then I rushed back and then I said, then as I'm going, Daddy goes, be back by midnight. I'm going, but Daddy, it's New Year's Eve. So I did go to this party in the end.
Mm.
And at the end, near midnight, I'm going, I need to go home. I need to go home like Cinderella. And the uncle and Christopher, they're going, your dad will be out at his party. So they brought me home at 12:30. Of course, Daddy was out at his party. So I managed to get away with it. So going to parties is difficult. I did get dressed, was very excited. And I used to take my little brothers to my parties as well, because he used to want to come. But we had lots of parties with lots of, the school I went to, there were lots of people with fancy houses and things like that. So we went to some lovely parties.
Wow.
So I did love an old party, got dressed up, nice shoes, a little bit of jewellery, makeup, yes. What about you? Tell me about your
I'm
party,
picturing some
party experience.
fancy events. I think, I mean, you just got me lost in the stories. I was just thinking, yeah, it sounds really exciting.
Yeah, so and then the smooching music at the end. You think, oh, who do you think will ever smooch with me? You know, our smooching, this is Malaysia smooching. So, you know, you kind of hold each other's waists and nobody would do anything. But it's the proximity and the dreaming of, do you think he's going to ask me? Or he's going to ask? So it's all very, you know, little fluttering of little girls' hearts, really. So it's very much of a time as well.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love listening to these stories. I mean, I've never been to Malaysia as well, so I love hearing about how things were and also, you know, how things are now. We'll talk about that another day, I guess.
Yes, of course.
But talking about parties, what's interesting, I never went to these, but again, another UK thing, I don't know if you know about this, but back in the 1980s when I was a teenager with angst and no acne. So maybe a bit of deleted it from my memory. But there used to be this thing called daytime parties. So a lot of young Asian people, because families were quite strict here. So in the Midlands, the West Midlands, where we live, there's quite a big sort of Punjabi, Pakistani community. And I'm from the Punjabi community. And people were very, I guess, because of, you know, being new migrants in a country, and not wanting their children to get to go out and fearful of maybe safety. Children weren't allowed out, so we weren't allowed to go to parties. So it would be family parties. That would be it. Wedding parties.
Oh yes, aunties, uncles, cousins.
Yes. So
and lots of sweet drinks.
Yeah, which was still lots of fun. So if we went to a wedding, it was lovely because we'd see cousins and we'd try and work out.
Oh, the cousin thing is lovely. We have that at home. The cousin thing is lovely.
So that was our parties. It was going to those, which was like, so you'd have the parents in the one area. We'd be like, you know, try and find a space, you know, to have our own time to ourselves. But yeah, never going to those sort of parties. But anyway, so there was these daytime parties in clubs, in nightclubs in local to us, Birmingham.
Oh, right.
And they would be open during the day. So they'd have like Indian Bollywood music. And this is the thing, because I didn't know people who went to these, you know, things could have been very different. I could have
yes, you weren't invited.
No, that wasn't invited, Sundari. It was like I didn't know people to invite me. Don't make it out like I was left out.
They saw you, that chap, you know, all in black with his ponytail and his groovy glasses and no acne. We're not inviting him to our Bollywood party.
Leave him to listen to Cure and the Smiths. These daytime parties, people used to go to school, and this was terrible actually. They'd go to school and they'd have their like party gear in their bag, and then they'd skip school and then go to the daytime party, and then
so this was without the knowledge of mummy and daddy then.
And then get back in their school clothes and then come home. And
sounds like a very good plan.
Exactly. I mean, I think I missed out when I was younger because that sounds quite exciting. So, but there's a lot of this, you know, people I knew went to these daytime parties, but I just think, where did they get the money from? Because it was, you know, have money to go in. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas the people who listen to the Cure and the Smiths just went to nighttime parties, which you couldn't go to.
Well, yeah. So later on, I did start going to like concerts and things where everything was all very, you know, everyone's wearing black.
Yes. So you kind of fitted in your sea of black.
And the other thing about young people like that, was that you'd have a bit like your different groups of people. So you'd have your people who were like the goths who, you know, wore black a lot. And then you'd have your group who were like all into like pop music. Then you'd have with other groups, so different groups. And,
I think, Ranjit, you and I would have been in different groups because I would have been into the pop music, you see. So we wouldn't have been friends.
But then at one point, I would have come together because my hair all came off and I started wearing colours again.
Oh, then we would have been friends.
That's when I discovered the rave scene in the early 90s.
Yes. So yes, I think I didn't go to any raves, but I love the music. So I do love to jump around. Energy.
So when I went to university, that's when I discovered rave music, and that was it. I was at the raves and everything. So my life totally changed from 1 minute wearing black and listening to the Cure and Smiths, who I still love, to very totally different music and different lifestyles. So
Psychedelia and music. Yeah.
yeah, and so I mean, we're moving into sort of like academia and parental expectation because I was going to talk about university, and
Mm.
I was thinking, so what about you? And because I mean, you're a medical doctor, so you trained, and we both
Yeah.
have done quite well in our academic life.
Yeah.
So we've had fun, so we've worked hard and
Yeah.
played hard. So,
So I wouldn't have been allowed to do anything else. Doctor, lawyer, engineer,
oh, okay.
but
Was that because
basically
the family
doctor or
was it
lawyer.
interesting in the Asian community in the UK? It was always like Asian families
Mm.
wanted people to be doctors, lawyers. And so what happened with me was like my parents both worked in factories. My mom worked as a sewing machinist, my dad worked in a factory. He had a
Mm.
degree from India, but it wasn't recognized here. So the experience of a lot of
Right.
people who migrated had a place to do law.
Right.
And
Okay.
I had a revelation on the night that I got my A-level results. I was like, no, I don't want to do law. I want to do Italian studies. I wanted to go
That's
to,
a revelation. Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to learn
I want to go
Italian.
to Rome and paint
Yes. And I
and
thought I want to do
yes.
all those things. And then
Wow.
because I saw a film called The Belly of an Architect, which is a really good film, and I
Right.
thought, oh, I love it. I love the architecture. So
Mhm.
I phoned around universities and they said, no, you can't. You need an A-level in Italian, which I didn't do. I ended up doing
Yes. Oh, a little
yeah,
foil to my
yeah.
plan. I don't know any Italian.
So then I did. So I spoke to somebody at Essex
That's so
University
funny.
who said, well, if you're interested in architecture, most of the architecture in Russia was by Italian architects. So why
Ah,
don't you do Russian? So I did a Russian degree. So
right.
I
So
studied
you
Russian.
learned Russian. So you didn't know any Russian before you went to
No, no.
university.
So I did Russian language, history, politics. So
Amazing. That is so left field.
yeah, yeah. So I was at Essex University. I spent a year in Russia as well on you get a year out, which was lovely.
Mm.
People were amazing. Architecture was amazing. So I fulfilled everything I wanted to. After graduation, this is how I fell into health because I enjoyed
Right.
working with people and then subsequently, worked in public health, got my PhD, all those sort of things. So it's interesting our journeys, isn't it? So you're saying for you, it
Yes.
was like you had, there's
Well,
an
mine was
expectation.
obviously I wanted to be a cabaret singer, but that's obviously
Still
out of the
time. Still,
question.
still time. Do you want to give us a song?
Mummy said, "You be a doctor first, and then you can be
Okay.
a cabaret singer afterwards." And then I thought I might do geology, and the reason being, I went to some open university, and the chap doing the geology
Mm.
demonstration was very cute. So I thought I could follow
Mm.
you up a mountain, but that wasn't happening. So
You're
there you
terrible.
go. So I did medicine, and do you know something? Best choice ever. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't get into medicine first time. I had to redo my A levels to get the
Mm.
grades. I'm so happy I did medicine, but
Well,
that
yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, this thing about, getting the grades the first time, just on
yeah,
that point, because I
yeah,
work in higher education now, as you know, and you do as
mm,
well. And
yes,
we know that, the first time you may not hit that target. It's like
yeah,
sports. You don't run your first marathon and win. You
no,
practice and you take little
mm,
little turns. So yeah, exactly. So I think I've meandered my way and eventually fell into
mm,
public health work, which is interesting because my parents wanted me to either be in health or law. And
yeah.
also I became a magistrate. So I ticked the law box as well.
Oh my goodness! So everything that mother and father wanted you to be, you
Yes. So
have.
it happened in the end, but in a different way. So I had fun
So, but
along the
I,
way.
I think just on a little of a serious note, it's just for if there are younger listeners listening
Yeah.
to this, I would just want to say, we've both achieved everything in the end,
Mm.
but not immediately. So, the idea of beating yourself up,
Yeah.
don't do that. I mean, probably did a little bit of beating myself up, but nowadays I tell everybody that story.
But you know what?
That
It's
I didn't get
interesting.
in first time. Yeah.
But when we're younger, we heard older people tell us things like that and said,
Mm.
these are the best times of your life, make the most of them, all those sort of
Yeah.
things. And, don't beat yourself up, don't compare yourself to others, comparison is a thief of joy, all those sort of things that you do when you're
Mm.
younger.
Oh,
And
I didn't hear any of that.
well, people were telling me, and I was like, oh no. And then now I tell people that. I tell my niece and
Yeah.
nephews, I go, I give them that advice, but also they get that through social media, which we didn't have. So all this
Right.
positivity, I think it's lovely. That's the great thing about social media, that
Yeah.
it helps them reframe things. It gives them that motivation, I hope. I know there's a lot
I
of
suppose
other
used
stuff.
correctly, it is
Yeah.
wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, there's all that other
So,
stuff, but I guess there is a lot of positivity as well. So,
so can we talk about something a little bit more cheeky
oh, go on
about
then.
teenage years?
Mm,
Smoking and drinking. Now, did you do smoking and drinking?
you can answer first.
Okay, I tried. I think I obviously not allowed smoking. So
Okay.
I can't remember whether I bought them or took them off friends and used to smoke in a little bit in the bedroom. And then when I heard my brothers or anybody, stubbing it out, hiding it in the bathroom
Mm,
behind the faucet or something. And my brother, what a
oh,
turncoat. He found one of my cigarettes and then told mummy about it. That was the end of my smoking, obviously.
oh no.
Oh, so that was the end of that. Alcohol, do you know, alcohol wasn't a taboo in our house. Mummy and daddy would, they would let us little mixes,
Mm,
a Coke or 7 Up with whiskey or brandy, because nobody drank wine. The only wine we
yes.
had in those days we thought was very sophisticated, Blue Nun or Mateus Rosé.
Oh,
Everybody would turn
fancy.
in, well, everybody turns their nose up at that now. But
That was fancy back in the day. That was
it
very
was
posh.
fancy
Yes.
back, but
Yeah.
nowadays, but we were allowed a little bit. So alcohol wasn't a taboo and I never totally drank too much, but occasionally my cousins and my brothers would keep bar, and then they wouldn't be keeping bar very long because they'd be asleep in the corner having had too much. So that's my story of the
Mm,
so the smoking was a complete taboo, and I
yeah.
got caught out and ratted out for my brother and the other
Yeah.
one. What about you?
Mm.
Are you keeping that close to your
So
chest?
no, no, no. I think because I'm asthmatic and I feel a bit bad about
Ah,
it now because I used to smoke. So
right.
when I was at school, I was always told by my parents that naughty people smoke, and it's true. When I was at school, it was the naughty people, the naughty kids. They were the smokers. It wasn't anyone who was educated. So it was
Mm,
when I went to university and lecturers, students, other students were smoking in
really?
the student bar, and I thought to myself,
Mm,
these people are not stupid, yet they smoke.
mm,
They're not unintelligent. They're educated. And smoking was always that sophisticated thing as well, in films and
yes.
things. So I remember very quickly, as soon as I started university, was having a cigarette and trying it out. And it was funny because I didn't realize that it gives you a little bit of a lightheaded feeling, the first time you smoke.
It's so funny, Ranjit. For
Yeah.
me, I mean, I tried it and actually didn't like the
Yeah,
taste at
I didn't
all.
like it
I
either. You
hated
force
it.
yourself through it,
Did you inhale and
Yeah,
blow it out through your nose, like those
yeah.
French
This is it.
actors
Oh,
or,
blowing out through your
French
nose
film?
hurts. People should tell you that.
Don't do it.
It's like people should tell you. It's like things you don't realize. So the first time it was like I was like pretending to be somebody, and that's why I say it's like, trying to fit into a crowd.
Pretending to smoke. And then
Yeah, because I'd met this new crowd. All of a sudden, my black clothes had gone. I was wearing collar. I was in the cool crowd. I was like, okay, I've got
oh,
to continue this. And then it becomes a thing that you don't realize. It becomes, you become addicted to cigarettes
right.
and so, but gradually it becomes part of you. So,
Mm,
um,
mm.
now who can afford to smoke these days? It's ridiculous.
No,
So,
it's funny, isn't it? That the whole idea about smoking,
yeah,
going back to the World War, it's just how it was promoted.
yeah,
It's given as a treat to people,
yeah,
and smoking was supposed to be the super, the cool
yeah,
consulate man,
yeah.
jumping off cliffs and looking super healthy.
Mm.
Sadly, he died of lung cancer. But it's that image of
Yeah.
smoking, and that's why they were cheap to get people addicted in some
Yeah.
ways,
And
weren't
you don't
they?
think when you're
It's,
younger, you
yeah.
don't think about your health and the
No, of
future. And
course
this
you
is,
don't.
and you and I
No.
teach
Well,
people
we're
this.
public health, aren't we?
Well,
Yes.
this is it. So we teach people this. And the thing is, you don't realize when you're younger, you don't think of that.
Yes.
Young people don't think to themselves the future consequence. Turning point for me of stopping when I worked in public health, and a lot of people in the break time would be standing outside smoking. We'd all be chatting to each other,
Really? Oh my
doctors,
goodness.
consultants, the public
Mm,
health people, all of us would be outside. And it was great because I got to meet people. And I
mm.
realized that actually here we are telling other people, yet here we are smoking. And so I stopped. And that was so
Good for
difficult to
you.
stop. But yeah, this is why I look back on it. It was a period in my life that I think, okay, again, I was trying to find myself. It was a few years. It's interesting, isn't it, how we start these things, and then the
Yeah.
thing that makes you stop. I
How we
know,
got
but
into all these habits as
alcohol,
teenagers. Oh, alcohol.
yeah,
Tell me.
I didn't really drink a lot. The other thing as well, and I'm bringing it back to the Punjabi community, there is a big alcohol problem in
Yes,
the
yes. In
in the
certain South
yeah,
Asian communities, there can be. Yes.
that's it. And so for me, I was always conscious that I don't want to slip into that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I do remember, uncles drinking quite
Mm,
a lot, and this culture and it was always spirits at home.
yes.
Nobody really drank beer when I was younger. I mean, Ranjit, the only thing I really like is a glass of champagne, and a glass is enough for me, or a
No,
gin
you
and tonic.
see,
I can't take any more, and
see,
that's it.
Sundari, this is it. I knew you were going to say champagne because my drink is Prosecco. So you see the difference between us already.
No.
Champagne and Prosecco.
Oh,
I'll drink
well,
anything. I'll drink
well,
anything with bubbles though, so I do like
yes.
champagne. But
Well, when we go out, we shall have champagne.
so
Okay?
pricey these days, isn't
It
it?
is, but you just have one glass, and then it's worth it.
My drink of choice is Prosecco or champagne if I can get my hands on
But
it.
even Prosecco's, there are very nice Prosecco's that you can
Yes,
have. Yeah,
yeah,
of course. And I'm sure
yeah.
you drink the best.
Oh, I do. So yes, if we are having a
Good.
drink, we'll make sure we drink something decent. I wouldn't drink.
Yes, of course. Oh
We
my
share
goodness, Acne and Angst has now ended up with champagne and prosecco. I mean, my
champagne and
goodness,
Prosecco.
we're
That could,
definitely not something a teenager would be having.
yes,
We've obviously whizzed through many years and
it's
left
probably,
teenagehood far behind.
yeah, probably cider and something else is what teenagers are having. So,
Yes,
um,
probably.
at least we
Cider
didn't.
and black is
Yes,
what
at
they.
least we didn't talk about acne, so that's a good thing.
No, 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 we didn't. I do remember many years ago writing an article for a teenage magazine that
Yeah.
on acne and treatments and
Oh, okay.
stigma, but it was a long time ago. So yeah, I've left
Wow.
that behind. Yeah.
Yes, good. Hopefully there's no pictures. Anyway, it's lovely. I need to go and make myself another cuppa.
We do love our little bits of chai. All right,
True.
darling.
So I'll
Yeah.
catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, catch up soon.
Take care.
Bye.
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 Shy and chat.